Once upon a time, in a humble village, a beggar lived a life of hardship. His days were spent begging for scraps. Despite his struggles, he remained kind and patient. One day, however, his patience was tested when he noticed his meager food supply was vanishing mysteriously. Determined to discover the culprit, he stayed awake one evening and caught a mouse sneaking away with a piece of bread. "Mouse," the beggar asked, "why do you steal from me? I have so little, yet you take even that. Why not steal from the rich, who have plenty to spare?" The mouse replied, "It is my destiny to ensure you own no more than 7 things. No matter what you gain, I must take away the rest." The beggar, astonished by the mouse's strange duty, decided to seek wisdom from the Buddha to understand this peculiar fate. He packed his few belongings and began his journey. After walking all day, the beggar found himself at a house just as night fell. He knocked on the door, and a kind couple welcomed him in. They offered him a warm meal, the best he had eaten in years. As they talked, the wife shared their sorrow. "We have a beautiful daughter, but she has never spoken a word. If you are going to see the Buddha, will you ask why she is silent?" Grateful for their kindness, the beggar promised to ask and continued his journey the next morning. As the beggar traveled, he came upon a daunting mountain range that seemed impossible to cross. While he despaired, an old alchemist appeared, holding a magic staff. "Why do you look so troubled?" the alchemist asked. The beggar explained his quest, and the alchemist offered to fly him over the mountains. As they soared through the air, the alchemist made a request. "Please ask the Buddha, when will I finally ascend to heaven? I have waited 100 years." The beggar agreed and thanked the alchemist for his help. Beyond the mountains, the beggar faced another obstacle, a roaring river. Its current was too strong to cross. While he stood hopelessly on the bank, a giant turtle emerged from the water. "Why do you look so sad?" asked the turtle. After hearing the beggar's plight, the turtle offered to carry him across the river. In return, she said, "Please ask the Buddha, when will I become a dragon? I have waited 1,000 years." The beggar promised to help and safely reached the other side. At last, the beggar reached Buddha, who was in meditation, sitting under a tree. Kneeling before him, the beggar humbly asked, "Venerable Buddha, I have come to seek your wisdom. May I ask you some questions?" The Buddha opened his eyes, smiled and said, "You may ask, but only 3. The beggar hesitated. He had 4 questions, one for the girl, one for the alchemist, one for the turtle, and one for himself. After a moment's thought, he decided to prioritize the others. "Why does the young girl not speak?" "She will speak when she meets her soulmate," the Buddha replied. "What must the alchemist do to ascend to heaven?" "He must let go of the staff he has clung to for 100 years, replied the Buddha. "What must the turtle do to become a dragon?" Buddha replied, "She must leave the safety of her shell. Only by letting go can she transform." The beggar thanked the Buddha and left without asking his own question. On his way home, the beggar told the turtle the Buddha's answer. The turtle, though fearful, stepped out of her shell. Instantly, she transformed into a magnificent dragon and soared into the sky, leaving behind a pile of precious pearls. Next, the beggar met the alchemist and shared the Buddha's advice. The alchemist released his staff, and his spirit ascended joyfully to heaven, leaving the magic staff as a gift for the beggar. Finally, the beggar returned to the family's house. When the girl saw him, she spoke for the first time, "Hey, you have come back." The beggar realized that her soulmate was none other than himself. Life often challenges us with poverty, struggles, and questions we cannot answer. But this story teaches us that wisdom lies in selflessness and compassion. The beggar faced his own troubles, but chose to prioritize the needs of others. Through his actions, he discovered that helping others often leads to unexpected rewards and fulfillment. The mouse taught him that our possessions do not define us. Attachment to material things limits our growth. The alchemist's staff showed that letting go of what we cling to, whether it's power, fear, or control, can lead to liberation. The turtle revealed that transformation requires us to step out of our comfort zones and embrace the unknown. Ultimately, the beggar learned that by helping others, he helped himself. His journey reminds us that kindness and humility pave the way to abundance and happiness. In the end, the beggar, once poor in possessions, became rich in wisdom, wealth, and love.